Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another PS4 jailbreak tutorial. So in this one, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can use PS Lan to play online on your jailbroken PS4 with other people. So this is a great solution for playing online. This has just come out, so there are some limitations right now. It only supports firmwares 9.0 and 11.0, but more firmwares will be added in future. And also there's a limited selection of games that are supported right now. Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, and Call of Duty 4 Remastered, or Modern Warfare Remastered. So those are the games that are available, but just last night it was only Black Ops 3 that was supported, and in one night 2 games have already been added, so you can expect a lot more games being added in the future. So the way this works, this is nothing to do with PSN, of course. You still cannot connect to PSN. So this is essentially like creating a VPN network that everybody joins, and then as far as the consoles are concerned, everybody is on the same local network. So you can see everybody's games. Anybody who hosts a LAN game will be discoverable on the service and you'll be able to join their game. That is essentially how it works. It's similar to things like Xlink Kai, XBS Link, and Hamachi, except it has 2 big advantages. There's no, complicated setup required. And also you have discoverability, so you can easily find other people's matches. Whereas services like Hamachi, you would have to know the network name or IP address of the person you wanted to connect to. So much better than those previous methods. So let's take a look at how you can actually get things set up. So firstly, you're going to click on the Discord link and head on over to the Discord for PS Lan. Once you're here, you're going to want to head to the download section and download the package file for PS Lan. So just go ahead and download it right here. Once you have it downloaded, we're then going to copy this package file over to a USB drive. So we're going to grab a USB drive that's formatted in exFAT or FAT32 format and copy the package file inside, and then eject that USB drive and plug it into your PS4. And then if you go into the announcements section, you've got some information here, supported firmware and the supported games. And it also crucially tells you what game updates you need to be on these games in order for this to work. So Advanced Warfare is update 1.24, Black Ops 3 update 1.33, Modern Warfare Remastered update version 1.15. So if we switch over to the PS4, we've got Black Ops 3 on update version 1.33, the correct update that is needed. So that is all prepared. You can use a fake package version or a retail version of the game. It doesn't matter as long as it's on the correct update. It also doesn't matter what DLC packs you have installed unless the person hosting the game is hosting a DLC map that you don't have, in which case you'll need the DLC. Otherwise, you just need the game with the appropriate update installed in order for this to work. So next, we're going to head into our Gold Hen settings. We're going to go to our debug settings, package installer, and we're going to install the package file that we put on the USB drive, our PS Lan loader. We're going to get that copied over. And then once that's installed, all we need to do is run it. Now, make sure you are connected to the network. If we head to our settings, we go down to system information. Make sure you have a valid IP address. I would also recommend that you connect directly to the router and with nothing in between. So in other words, either be directly connected with an Ethernet cable to the router or connect directly through Wi-Fi on the PS4 to the router. Do not use things like, internet connection sharing to share your computer's internet connection with the PS4 or a network bridge or anything like that, because that can definitely cause problems, especially when you're trying to host your own games. For joining other people's games, it might not cause an issue, but at least for hosting your own game, it can cause connection issues if you have anything in between. So definitely best to have a direct connection between the PS4 and the router, whether that be Wi-Fi or a LAN cable. So with that, we're going to go ahead and run PS Lan loader and give this a few seconds to initialize. And there it goes. So it says PS Lan successfully loaded, at which point you can then launch a supported game. So we're going to run Black Ops 3 version 1.33. So as it's booting up, you should get some other notifications that will pop up. So we get welcome to PS Lan. We get registered as a client. Now you may get this notification that looks like an error message about UPnP. If you get that error message, then it just means that you're not going to be able to host your own games unless you port forward the ports manually on your router, which I will show you how to do. But even if you do get that error, you will still be able to join other people's games who are hosting. So you'll be able to join other people's games, you just won't be able to host your own if you get that error message. So you can see in the top left-hand corner, it says you're playing on a local area network, LAN, which is what we're wanting. So all we need to do is find a LAN game, and we should be able to find any games that people are hosting. And you can see we have a game hosted here by BO3 Test, so we can join it. And as you can see, we do in fact have a bunch of players in here. So as you can see, game has loaded up here, and we have a full online game on our jailbroken PS4 without requiring a connection to PSN, which is pretty awesome. So much easier, much better than other solutions like Hamachi and Xlink Kai and XBS Link. Those are very outdated solutions. So this is great. So what we're going to do now is try and host our own game, and I'll show you how to fix that error message that was popping up earlier if you do run into that error. So what should happen is UPnP is enabled on most routers, and that should automatically forward the ports for you, which should prevent that error message from popping up in most cases. So you might not have to worry about this as long as you don't get that error message about UPnP not being enabled or not working. You should be fine to host your own games, and other people should be able to join you. However, sometimes UPnP doesn't work right, and you end up, it doesn't forward the ports properly, and then you get that error message. So if you host a game, nobody will be able to join your game because the ports are closed. So we need to forward the ports manually if you do run into that error message. So let's go ahead and just look at how we can do that if we switch back over to our computer. So what I'm going to do is right click on my desktop and open in terminal. And then we're going to type in ipconfig and press enter. And then find the network adapter that's providing your computer with the internet connection, which in my case is the wireless adapter on my computer. And then you just want to find the default gateway address, which is right here, 192.168.1.1. We're going to copy it. So we're going to open up a web browser and then enter that default gateway address in the URL bar and press enter. And then we just need to log into our router. So we'll go ahead and log in. And then for me, I need to head down into the advanced settings. I go to the WAN settings, and then I can go to virtual server / port forwarding. And then we can scroll down here and we can add a profile. And then from here, if I go back to the Discord, the announcement in the Discord says right here, UPnP not working on some routers. If UPnP fails for you, manually forward port 1235 for UDP and 3074 for UDP. So that's what we'll do here. So service name, we'll call this PS Lan. We'll give the protocol UDP. External port is going to be 1235. And I'm also going to do 3074. Some routers, you'll have to create a separate port forward for each port. So 1235, and then you'd have to do it again for 3074. Other routers let you add different ports or port ranges. So I can just separate it by a comma to do both ports, 1235 and 3074. And then the internal IP address is going to be the IP address of my PS4, which was 192.168.1.173. And then that is it. We can click OK. And that port is now forwarded. Now, another issue that I've also run into is that sometimes the ports will not open if you have UPnP enabled while also having manual port forwarding. So if you manually forward the ports, but you still have UPnP enabled, it can cause a problem. So you can try this. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, then I would also, go back into my internet connection settings and disable UPnP right here and turn it off, because I'm manually forwarding the ports instead, and then try that. So that's what you can do. Now, of course, all routers look very different. So this is my Asus router. Your router port forwarding may be done completely different in a completely different way to the way that I did it here. That is the problem about trying to make a guide that involves port forwarding, because every router is different. So what you can do is you can head to the website portforward.com, and then you can go to the routers list here and click on list of routers. And then if we scroll down, this gives you a bunch of different router makes and models. So you can just select one, like I could select an Asus one here, for example. And then from there, it will give you a bunch of different models of Asus routers. And then you can just select one, or select the model that you have, or a similar model if your one isn't listed. Then it basically gives you a full guide on how to port forward. It will tell you what is the most likely, default gateway address. It will tell you what the default username and password is, then walk you through it step by step with screenshots on how to port forward specifically for your router. So that's a good resource that you can use if you are struggling to forward the port. So once you've done that and you've set up port forwarding for hosting your own games, all you need to do is close out of the game. and then relaunch it again to kind of refresh the network and refresh PS Lan. And you'll see that this time we get, again, welcome, successfully registered as client. However, this time we do not get the UPnP error because we have successfully port forwarded. So now I can actually try and host my own game. So I'll hop into a game of zombies here and see if anybody joins. And after a little while here, you can see somebody has already joined. So there we go. So it looks like I have successfully forwarded the ports because other people are able to join my game. So that is how you set up PS Lan so that you can join other people. And again, if you're just wanting to join other people's games, it couldn't be any simpler. All you have to do is make sure you're connected to the internet, preferably directly to your router, and then just run the PS Lan loader, launch the game, making sure the game, of course, is on the correct update for this, and you'll be able to find other people's games, join them, and play online. It's only if you're wanting to host the game yourself and you have that UPnP error where port forwarding is required. Otherwise, you should be good. So that's how you get PS Lan fully set up and working so that you can join other people's games as well as host your own games and port forward to fix the issue if you are running into that UPnP error. So hopefully this will continue and things will continue to improve. So at the moment, again, 9.00 and 11.00 are supported, but according to the announcement from DeathRGH, in future, any firmware that's supported by Gold Hen will be supported for PS Lan. So any firmware that you can run Gold Hen on, you will eventually be able to run PS Lan on too. We also have more supported games are obviously going to be added. And he also says here that currently there is only one global room that everyone connects to, and you can host your own matches in this room as long as you meet UPnP/forwarding requirements. In the future, you will be able to create your own closed rooms that are not visible to the public. So yeah, that is kind of what you'd expect from, you know, if you remember going back to things like Tungle on the PC back in the day, maybe aging myself a bit with that one. And also, you know, of course, XPS Link on the Xbox 360, you were able to kind of create your own private rooms. So essentially you could create a private room and then have a password on it so that only the people that you give the password to can join, and they'll be able to join your game. So if you don't want to just let anybody join your game, you'll be able to do that in future. But obviously that's not implemented right now. So at the moment, it's just one public room that everybody joins and everybody can see each other's games. So anyway, yeah, this is a really cool thing for getting online on your jailbroken PS4, being able to find other people to play with. And yeah, I really hope this continues and more games get added in the future. And I'll definitely revisit this as things continue to be improved. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video or found the information useful. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And once again, I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video.